We'll be here in just a couple minutes.
Hey guys. How's everybody doing? Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
Mimi's here.
Perfect. All right. I might give like 1 or 2 more minutes to see if anybody else wants. How's everybody doing?
Cooking dinner here.
Fun. What are you cooking?
T-bone steak. Okay, I'll give Daddy a hug. You go get your car.
Okay, guys, it looks like it might just be us today. So I'm going to go ahead. All right. So, hey, guys, thanks for hopping on. Super excited about tonight's big team call. So just to remind you guys, after this, we'll have our big team call. We had an awesome July, and I know several of us are still in like the end of month craziness. But you guys, I think with Color Street and everything that they offered us in July, like, can we just imagine what these next few months are going to be? Because I feel like they have pulled out all the stops for July. And I don't know, I've kind of been overwhelmed today with just extreme gratefulness. And it almost just makes me emotional. I've been emotional all night about it. I don't know why. I'm just really, okay, good. I'm not the only one. I'm just really overwhelmed with the opportunity that we've been given. And I think because I have been in a direct sales business before this, and it was such a solid, like, the company had been around for years. And it, I came in when it was like 8 years old, like, and we're only 2 years old, and the things that Color Street does for us, and we're only 2 years old, is insane. And y'all, there's only like 40,000, not even 45,000 stylists. And out of that, like, there's only like 4,000 that even BQ. So just know, as leaders, we have something really, really insanely awesome. But anyway, so on the call tonight, for you leaders, I really wanted, because I have been so on fire lately, but I also was on the struggle bus at the beginning of the summer. I've really been thinking about you guys that might be struggling, or I want to remind you guys, life comes with seasons. Life comes with hard days. So you might be on fire right now. Your team might be going great, but we know with life, we're going to have some hard days. So I want us, to help the ones that are struggling maybe right now, and then also equip those of us who are in a great season for when that hard season does come back. We know what to do. So Obviously, good days, bad days, we get them all. Every single person, we all get good days and we all get bad days. But it's about the comeback. So I had you guys watch that video. If you don't know what I'm talking about and didn't see it, I posted a video in the leader group about the building of the memorial, the 9/11 memorial. And if you are a senior director or above, this training might sound familiar because I got a lot of this from this past week's leader call that Kelly France did. When I heard her and when I watched the replay, it literally clicked everything that I've been thinking. And so I used a lot of the things that she talks about, and she talked about this video. And so I looked it up, I found it, and that's the video I posted. And at first it was just like, okay, that was a good video. And then when I posted it for you guys and y'all like said all those things, like if you have not gone back to look at the comments, they're so profound. And I'm like, we could literally have a training just on the things that y'all picked out in that video. But I think my favorite thing is that it took 10 years, like 10 whole years. Like my husband's in construction. I know what can be done in 6 months. I know what can be done in a year. And the fact that it took them 10 years just goes to show how big of a project it was. But it also goes to show they probably had a lot of setbacks. I mean, it was such a massive project that the workers came, you know, in contact with a lot of setbacks. But like, I can't remember who said it. But it just goes to show what something can come from something that hits rock bottom. And that obviously that's such a massive day. I don't want to disrespect what happened and compare it to our business, but we hit rock bottom, but it's what we do after that and what we build after that that really counts. So I'm going to give you 3 F's for when you're in your funk, and all of these came from Kelly France. So she is the queen of this, but it really goes in line with what I've been feeling, so I'm super glad I listened to it. So the 3 F's, number 1, fundamentals. When you're in a funk, when you feel like you've kind of hit rock bottom, you just always go back to the fundamentals. Always go back to the foundation. Always go back to what got you here, basically. So it's showing up every single day. I always think of it as like you're going into the ocean. Like you want to get far out, but those waves keep coming in. And like for me, I naturally want to turn my back to the wave, you know, and like let the wave hit my back. But that's getting me nowhere. But you just have to lean in. Like sometimes it's hard to get back into the swing of things. Just lean in to that feeling, as hard as it is. Lean into it and know that if you just get past those first couple of waves, like it's gonna feel like it's kind of beating on you and it's not fun and it feels awkward. Like, okay, I haven't been as consistent in my team page as I need, you know, as I want to be. Like, what are they thinking? Like if I come back in, like coming in hot with all these like encouraging posts, are they going to, you know, like, does anybody else feel like that? Or like in your VIP group, like if you feel like you've kind of fallen off with your consistency and then all of a sudden you're wanting to get back into it. Like, I just feel like that's the hardest part, those first few steps. Okay, so lean into that, show up every single day, work your business, keep it simple, go to the basics, getting samples out, but showing up in your VIP group, showing up on social media, showing up in the team page, showing up on these team calls, which, can I just say, I'm so proud of each of you for being on these, because I know it's not easy out of your schedule. But showing up to regional meetings, showing up to conference. Like, I know you can't go to conference this year if you haven't signed up yet, but tickets are going to go on sale at some point. So again, for next year. So make sure you're showing up to that. And then I want to read a quote. I love Will Smith. And so when Kelly shared this quote, I was like, yes, I love him. So he says, the only thing that I see that is distinctly different about me is I'm not afraid to die on a treadmill. You might have more talent than me. You might be smarter than me. But if we get on the treadmill together, there's 2 things. You are either getting off first or I'm going to die. It's that simple. And I love that. And I feel like the fundamentals, everything that we do as a stylist, it really takes heart to see those things through. And then that kind of leads me to the next thing. So focus is the second F. Focus. So a couple of things to focus on. Number 1, focus on why you're here. And I loved how Kelly France said that. She actually said, she said, what'd she say? I feel like the word why is overused. She says, I like to think of it as, what are you here for? Because sometimes she just feels like that why is like hypothetical, but if you're thinking about like what are you working towards? So each of you should know what you're working towards. If you don't, you're going to be going in blindly. And of course you're going to get in a funk because there's no purpose behind your work. So focus on what you're doing and what you're working for. So we did that challenge in the team page. I asked people to, tell me, like, what are you working for? What are you working towards? And then I got them to reverse engineer it. So I really want you to guys, if you're on this call, you're a leader, you should know how to reverse engineer your goals. So I really want y'all to focus on that. Focus on what you're working for. Focus on the income producing activities. Forget all the fluff. Okay? Like, if you're overwhelmed and you're in a rut, just forget the fluff. Focus on those income producing activities. As far as leadership, if you're in a funk, just direct people to the leaders that are not in a funk, okay? So for me, when I'm in a funk and I'm trying to get back into it, I'm not going to try to take it all that weight on at once. I'm going to really, like, if somebody has a question, I'm going to direct them to April, or I'm going to direct them to Haley. I'm going to direct to people that aren't in a funk as I'm trying to get back into it. Does that make sense? And let's see. So use your time wisely. Set work hours. By now, you guys, if you're a leader and you do not have set work hours, you are greatly increasing your chances of getting burned out. Okay? Like, I've been doing this for 4 years, and the only time I've been consistent is when I had set work hours. I tend to, and a lot of us, Ashton's nodding her head, a lot of us love this business, and I see the passion in so many of you, and it excites me. But I'm telling you right now, you cannot work 14 hours a day, 7 days a week. Okay, get off your phone, like, have set work hours, live your life, and work. Look, I get it. I'm like, I bleed Color Street, okay? I'm like constantly like thinking about it, living it, like, Color Street. But it's really consistency-wise, we have to like kind of take a step back, okay? So get work hours. Listen, I have failed. I've tried to work nonstop, and that's not how we're wired. So routine is the only way to stay consistent. So I don't want to go too long into setting work hours, because I feel like at this point you should know how to set work hours. But just routine-wise, like, attach your power hour to a habit. So for me, I do it at nap time. I know every single day Millie's going to nap for the most part. So I set it during that. If you don't have a kid or you work full-time, do it on your lunch break. Do it at breakfast. Like, just make sure it's in a day that is consistent and you can have routine. Power hour, we all know what that is, but make a list. So for me, my power hour probably looks different than Ashton's. Like, I have set things that I do every single day. So kind of what I did was, there is that power hour in the unit section of the team page. I looked at that and I just tweaked it for me. And to be honest, I just have like a sticky note list. Like, it's not like I have this huge spreadsheet, Excel spreadsheet or whatever. Just do what works for you. Stick with the basics. Set timers. I loved this tip that she gave. Set timers. Because sometimes when you are in a rut or in a funk, or you've hit rock bottom and you're trying to get out, it's overwhelming to think of the task. Like, sometimes it's overwhelming to get over that leap of messaging people again or posting again. So set timers. Give yourself 5 minutes. That's it. As long as you can work for 5 minutes, you'll probably find out you're going to work a little bit longer than that, but just at least set a timer for 5 minutes and do it for 5 minutes. And then if you are struggling with this, read the book Eat That Frog. It's really, really good. It's all about kind of overcoming that thing that you don't want to do. And it basically talks about doing that the first thing. So like every single day, the thing that you dread the most. So for me, that's messaging people about becoming a hostess or something like that. So I do that first. I eat my frog every single time. Like when I sit down, I eat that frog and I message people. And then I get to enjoy all the fun little things that I get to do. PD, I'm a broken record, personal development. I don't even know if you're not doing personal development, I don't know how you're still standing, because I definitely wouldn't be. I'm a hot mess and I need it. But I love this quote. Our mindset is not what holds us back. Hold on. I screwed that up. Our mindset, not our skill set, is what holds us back. So your skill set or lack thereof is not what holds us back. It's our mindset. I know I butchered that in the beginning, but That's huge, you guys. It's so true. And that's exactly what that quote from Will Smith is saying. Like, there's always going to be people faster than us. There's always going to be people who you look up to your left and you're like, dang it, like they just hit this rank and they started 5 months after me. Or I look at people, y'all, all the time who are senior executive directors and their volumes are way higher than mine. But it's our mindset. It's not my skill. It's my mindset. So I can only, it's like that, it's the law of leadership, the law of the lid. Does anybody watch John Maxwell, listen to him? Like, he has this law of the lid where in leadership, your max level that you're at is only as high as your team can go. So it's like, if you want your team to go any higher, you have to keep pushing your lid up. And that only comes with personal development. It only comes with building your mindset, building your endurance. And I was talking to a stylist. I'm not naming any names and I'm not calling anybody out. I thought this was interesting. I was talking to one of my stylists. She's in a really big funk. Life is kind of hitting her hard. And I asked her what she was reading or listening to in personal development. And she said nothing. She said, I just haven't made it a priority. I do that all the time. I don't make the personal development a priority at times, but I eventually get back into it. But I just thought that was interesting that she's in a funk, but she's not making personal development a priority. Like, maybe these things correlate. Maybe if we started listening or reading some personal development, you wouldn't be in a funk. So, fun is the third. I'm preaching at you guys, and then I'm like, fun. Fun is the third F, and it's so true. And we have a lot of fun things coming. So if you're in a funk, or if you're in like this like rock bottom, like, take the pressure off of you. Like, take a step back and realize we're selling nail polish. We are selling nail polish. Like, I sometimes laugh at that. To me, it's just fun. Like, we have a fun product. We're not trying to talk people into losing weight. We're not trying to talk people into, changing their lifestyle. Like, we're literally just selling freaking nail polish. Blows my mind. So have fun. What in the beginning that was fun to you? What were you doing that was fun? So, like, was it parties? Like, in the beginning, were you doing parties? Were you meeting up with people, like just random friends, like get together and putting nails on people? Like, whatever it was, get back to that. So for me, in the beginning, like, I loved seeing the like reaction from people when they tried the product. So like, I have to just get back to getting samples on people like face to face. So figure that out. Have days off. I just said this, like, consistency and like having those work hours. Always plan for a day off. Nobody in the corporate world, well, some do, but hardly any works 7 days a week. And neither should we. We should have days completely focused on our family. So have a Sunday off, have a Saturday off, have a Monday off, whatever you want it to be. Have that day off. Don't think about Color Street as much as possible. Don't even feel like you have to get on Facebook or social media. Like, just live a life without work. And that's basically it. So I have a couple of challenges that I have for you guys, kind of for each F. So the first one kind of geared towards the fundamentals, kind of getting, like I said, like leaning into maybe those uncomfortable, like getting over the hump type things. Like, I really wanted you guys to commit to reach out to your team. And this could look different depending on where you're at in your funk. But if you feel like you maybe are not as, like, you're not showing up for your team because you're letting your messages kind of get built up in your Facebook inbox, which I am a horrible person that does that. So maybe that's you just eating that frog and going and opening those messages and reading them and answering them, acknowledging that you have kind of went MIA, but you're here, you're back. Maybe you've been consistent in your messages, but you haven't been consistent actually leading your team in the forefront of showing up in your team page, letting them know, what you're doing in your business. Because I want to remind you guys, leadership, people are going to do what you do, not what you say. So, and the hard thing about our job, since it's all on social media, and it's not like at an office where people are watching us, is you have to be intentional with sharing what you're doing. You have to be intentional with taking pictures of you doing your power hour and letting your team know that you're working your business every single day. If you're not showing up in your VIP group or in your team page every single day, how do they know that you are working your business that day? They don't. And I promise you, people are watching. So anyways, commit to reaching out to your team, whether that be in messaging or somehow like showing up every single day. For the focus part of it, I want you to sit down tonight or tomorrow and plan your work hours and create your list that you're going to work from daily. And don't worry about it being perfect, that list being perfect in the beginning, okay? You'll tweak it as you go. I promise you'll figure out your groove. And then last thing, to keep it fun, like I said, going back to that thing that, was fun in the beginning, I want us as leaders to commit to getting 100 samples out in August. 100 samples out in August. Because I promise you, once you start to get those reactions again, it fires you up. Does anybody else feel that way? Like if you're ever in a rut, you go find somebody who's never seen Color Street, put it on them, and you'll get an immediate fire started back. Okay, so I think that's it. How's everybody feeling? Did that speak to anybody? Does anybody want to share, like, hey, yeah, this is so me. I've been in a rut. Like, here's where I'm at. No? Okay. Well, we have a few minutes until our team calls. So does anybody have any end of month questions or like, I need ideas? I feel like everybody's doing pretty well, but if anybody needs any help, now's your time. Tomorrow's the last day of the month. Everybody's so quiet. Okay. All right, guys. Well, yeah, we got about 8 minutes till the team call. I will see y'all then. Bye.